It's up to you, Choji.
Okay!
Even though this moment is technically a recap, I think there's something sort of emblematic about this being the first line said in the episode. Realistically, that's what this episode and next episode are kind of about. It's up to Choji to stop him. And oh my god, does this line hold a lot of weight over Choji's fight?
Guess the others went on ahead.
You're correct. They're nowhere to be seen.
I mentioned it a while ago, but Neji's actually a really good person to have on this mission. Not only cause, you know, he's big and strong and stuff like that, but also cause he can naturally give our protagonists information the viewers would already know. Realistically, they wouldn't have known the Sound Ninja left Jirobo alone cause they were in the rock. But that's something us, the viewer, do know. Neji having Byakugan now allows him to know that as well, and relay the information. Like, don't get me wrong, Byakugan, it's cool, right? But its real purpose early in this arc was just allowing Kishimoto to get on with the story.
There's no way we can take him head on. It's too dangerous.
We just tore through this clown's barrier. How tough can he be?
Are we speaking French? I hope you know, the two most useless people in that effort are the two people wanting to fight him. Clearly, Akamaru is not controlling Kiba well here. Also, isn't this like, probably why both of you didn't become Chunin? You're not even listening to the leader of the mission, you're just running in and looking stupid. Hey, editor, can you now show what happens when they run in?
Tunneling bang! Well, we're boned.
Shuttle clone jutsu! Get a load of this, you gorilla!
Admittingly, Naruto obviously isn't really fighting him at full capacity. But I mean, honestly, Kiba was pretty close to at his strongest when he was attacking. So like, what was the plan here? Just attack and see what happens? It doesn't really seem like a good plan. In all actuality, this gives us now a pretty good idea of Jirobo's strength. When the Sound Ninja 5 fought Genma and Raido, we didn't see it and they were pretty shaken up after. But right here though, we see him take down these two pretty easily. Which tells us two things, one now and one later. What it tells us now is that every Sound Ninja is going to be like this, and in turn be a huge obstacle. And what it tells us later is, well, something I'll talk about later. As you're going to be able to tell later, I'm not really a big fan of Jirobo as a character, but something I think he should really be given credit for is being like an official introduction to Earth style. It's technically the only chakra nature we haven't seen in its purest form. The only really things we have would be like Kakashi going underground and then Gaara, but that's not really conventional Earth style. Every other member of the Sound Ninja 5 has a unique ability that we haven't seen before, and for Jirobo, his is just pretty much Earth style. But since his is just Earth style, it allows for him to create an image of what a solid Earth style user looks like in the viewer's head.
And with every second that passes, Sasuke gets closer to the border. Once he crosses it, it will all be out of our hands.
This is really good for stakes. They can't just chase these people forever. Nothing is on their side. They are astronomically fucked and just have to thug it out. This kind of attitude is not only good for this episode, but good for this arc. There's no room for failure here. They can't afford a wrong decision, a loss of time, a simple mistake. There's no such thing as forgiveness in this mission, and that makes every moment infinitely larger.
So we should split into two groups. One to stop him, and one to follow Sasuke.
You'll head the second team. Okay, Neji?
Yeah, that makes sense. Neji isn't like the strongest out of this group or anything, but he's definitely the one Shikamaru trusts the most besides Choji. And I mean, I don't think anyone's blaming him for that.
Neji, you take Kiba and Choji and head out after Sasuke.
You've got it.
Naruto, you and I'll handle this guy.
Even though this doesn't happen, this is probably the best possible combo to make the viewer think something's gonna happen, if that makes any sense. First off, Naruto's our main character, so yeah, of course he'd be fighting the enemy. But also, Naruto and Shikamaru are probably the two most fleshed out characters, believe it or not. So the more fleshed out characters being a part of the conflict makes it more appealing to casual viewers. What's really cool though is that it flips this idea on its head, and actually gives this fight to the character with the least amount of growth, and uses it to flesh him out.
He's disappeared.
He's behind us!
Really cool touch, but this is actually more setup for Neji's blind spot. Neji couldn't see Jirobo, somehow, because he was behind him and in turn in his blind spot. Hence why Kiba had to notice him, and you know it's important because I said hence. Also, on a side note, Jirobo must actually reek for Kiba to sniff him out after being physically near him for like 5 minutes. Like, actually brutal.
Earth-style Spear of Graves!
Are you insane?
Yeah, if only Naruto knew what he would see in like, what, 3 years? You know, you'd think for a moment like, I don't know, throwing a borderline meteor, they would maybe put a little more thought into how it looks. But no, let's just get a moving PNG.
When you've got an idiot for a leader, the whole team suffers. Know what I mean?
I love how this just pisses off Choji. He's not gonna let someone talk shit about his friend, and him doing this makes him take this fight alone. And all it took was someone talking bad about his friend, and he's just ready to go.
Expansion jutsu! Human father! Gotcha!
Okay, I'm sorry, but he was just not catching him in time. Trust me, I know how falling works. I tend to do it a lot. When you're this close to something and the thing catching you is this far away, yeah, you're cooked.
I'll handle him. This guy is mine.
I don't know why, but I just love this. Choji's kind of had Jirobo's number for this entire thing, and Jirobo did just go after his friend. So Choji being so headstrong on taking him on is really cool. Also, something that might go unnoticed is that Choji has these really exaggerated lines in the shot, and so far, only Jirobo has had those. Almost like these two shots are telling us they're now firing on the same level of intensity. Almost like it's kind of paralleling the two.
This isn't the kind of guy you can take on your own?
He's mine, I said.
Yeah, but Choji, you're...
He's what, Naruto? No, what is he? He's what? I honestly do think Naruto is gonna say he's no match, but it does sound like he was just gonna call Choji weak. And again, I'm gonna reiterate it. I love that he's so set on this. But you know how I was talking about how Jirobo working Naruto and Kiba told us two things? Well, this is the second thing. It tells us this is a very uphill battle for Choji and he very well might die. Very subtly written. Very well done. Very Naruto in 4 moment.
Don't worry, I've got my secret weapon with me.
Yeah, but Choji, this is...
Okay, holy tonal shift, by the way. It seems so much more serious right now, and that is fully on purpose. In all actuality, the viewer's supposed to believe that Choji's gonna die here. He talks in a softer tone, he gives Shikamaru something for the team, and everyone seems noticeably nervous. All to make you think Choji will, or at the very least, might die. No, not that one. That one.
Get out of my way, you joke! Impossible!
Yeah, so clearly it's not impossible, you fucking idiot. I actually hate this guy, by the way. Anyways, there's a lot of butterfly symbolism, just like the bird symbolism with Neji, and I'll be sure to point them all out. But for now, let's look at this. A butterfly that is trapped. The Sound Village, as a whole, has a lot to do with traps. For example, a snake trapping its prey, Kitamaru's whole situation. So this could very easily be seen as Choji trapped in Jirojo's taunting, but it's more like Choji, the butterfly, being trapped in everything that haunts him. Self-confidence, friendships, everything. Jirobo's taunting makes him all these obstacles personified. And so the spiderweb isn't just Jirobo, it's more of what Jirobo embodies. With that in mind, we can now see where the butterfly ends up throughout the fight, and connect that with Choji's growth.
You better catch up with us, Choji. You hear me?
Okay, holy shit, the weight these words have is insane. I'll obviously talk about them when we get there, but I at least need to acknowledge them here, so... yeah.
Stop you.
This is actually a really big moment. This plus Choji taking the green food pill now tells us two things. First off, beating Jirobo is possible, but will clearly be challenging. And second, those food pills are insanely powerful. And if that's only 1 out of the 3, then imagine what the other ones do.
Pills that grant a person explosive power. There are 3 of them. Green, yellow, and red. But any pill that works that well always comes with side effects.
Okay, let's talk about this. First off, it gives us a cool little staircase of power for both Choji and Jirobo. Base Jirobo versus Green Food Pill Choji, Stage 1 Jirobo versus Yellow Food Pill Choji, and Stage 2 Jirobo versus Red Food Pill Choji. But also, this is something completely alien to the viewer. So learning about their power while simultaneously learning that they have an effect makes them synonymous with each other, and that reflects onto the viewer. Also, our brains can naturally do the math on how powerful each one is. As people, we associate the colors green, yellow, and red as good, neutral, and bad. That's why stoplights are the colors they are. That's why right answers and happy checkmarks are in green. That's why traffic signs and thumbnails signaling neutrality are in yellow. And that's why stop signs and thumbnails trying to evoke negativity are in red. Making these pills something simple for the viewer to naturally comprehend is smart and efficient. It doesn't make us have to figure anything out. We can just look at the colors and figure out which one is more intense than the other. I'll have a lot more to say about the food pills, of course. They have a lot more behind them, but that's all I'll say for now.
I didn't think the spinach pill by itself would hurt so much.
This gives us a good scale of the pain the food pills give. If the green one makes him physically in pain, then the yellow one must do a lot worse, and red equals bad, so we can kind of assume what that one does. Like, this is why the green, yellow, red idea was really good. We can instantly know that red means death in this situation without even Shikamaru alluding to it. I like that Choji has instantly a new technique. In the Chunin exams, he was kind of a one-dimensional David Ortiz-esque ninja, but seeing that he's now expanded upon that fleshes out his character even more. He's now like David Ortiz playing first base, and by the end of it, he'll turn into more of a David Ortiz in his final season. And to any of the ball unknowers out there, that's pretty good.
Earth-style Terra Shield!
This actually isn't the same type of wall Kakashi used versus Obito, even though it kind of looks the exact same. Kakashi used a mud wall, and this is a wall of terracotta, I think. I'm pretty sure, except pretty sure means 100% on the internet, so yeah. Choji's new spiky ball is actually a really smart idea. You can't really stop it like Jirobo tries to. You can't really avoid it for super long. You can't even really do a whole lot about it. You just have to thug it out.
If we're looking at it objectively, that giant's ability is an unknown. The chances of Choji defeating him may be close to zero.
I think this kind of reasoning actually gives us a lot of stakes. We can kind of come to the conclusion that Choji still might be boned with the food pills, but also throwing in that fact, yeah, it makes it seem again like an uphill battle.
Shatter!
Something I really like about this fight is how balanced it is. In some ways, Choji directly counters Jirobo like we saw. He can destroy any type of earth style that he puts up. But on the other hand, anytime Jirobo makes direct contact with an expanded Choji, the energy from that hit will kind of reverberate through him and will amplify how much damage it would actually deal.
In every team of 5, there's always somebody in the mix who's just dead weight.
This actually makes a lot of sense. Teams are usually in 4s. That's something Kakashi explained in the first 5 episodes. Very cool.
And when thick comes to thin, he gets cast aside, like the worthless pawn he is. That's who you are.
This is really where Jirobo starts to embody everything stacked up against Choji. Throughout this fight, Jirobo's already talked shit after every exchange, kind of bullying him in a sense. And as we learn later, Choji's always been made fun of, counted out, and Jirobo does the exact same. He tries to belittle who Choji is, and this fight is all about him standing up against that. And when that concept gets connected to his friends, it creates the growth we see. But, like everything, I'll obviously get into that more when we see it.
A loser right to the end. You started out well, but that backbone you showed sure didn't last long. You're the epitome of failure.
Like, this whole thing is just him attacking Choji's character. He tries to have a strong heart, but deep inside, he is just a loser. He isn't shit. Remember when I said a while ago Naruto is for losers? You probably don't, that's why I said it again. Moments like this are why. You have stuff where the viewer can clearly see themselves in a character. You see them belittled, yet rise above it for what they find important. Like, as much as Naruto is about ninjas, it's also about self-realization and improvement. And a fight like this shows it so well.
Choji is good enough to hold his own, but he doesn't have a lot of confidence. He thinks that out of all of us, he's the weakest link.
That's because the guy kinda is.
First off, I love how Shikamaru immediately has faith in Choji winning, especially after Jirobo just made fun of Choji and jokingly blamed Shikamaru for trusting him. But like, oh my god, I'm getting into this. Really, Kiba? He's the weakest link? Chunin exams Choji I'll give you, but current Choji? Are you sure? Right now you are seeing every attempt Kiba made to get out the rock last episode, and right now, you're seeing Choji just do it first try. Sure, you can try and say that Choji only got through cause it was the weakest point, but I mean, Choji's going pretty fast here. I think he could have done it at any point if I'm honest. But no, you're right, Akamaru controlling Kiba. He's totally the weakest link. Not you. We're back at it with the butterfly symbolism. The two butterflies in this scenario are Choji and Shikamaru. You see them separate, showing they're not currently by each other's side. Choji sees this and instantly remembers one of their previous interactions, as they remind him of Shikamaru and himself. This gives him the strength to push forward, as someone he looks up to, aka Shikamaru, aka one of the butterflies, is confident in him, aka the other butterfly. Usually in media, butterflies tend to symbolize freedom and personal growth, and in Japan they sometimes symbolize something else, but that's a conversation for next video. Let's look at the personal growth part for now though, cause this whole fight is about Choji outgrowing what haunts him, aka Jirobo, aka lack of confidence and friendships. That's why there's butterfly symbolism constantly surrounding this fight. It's all about pushing past previous struggles so he can fight for his own current motivations, aka personal growth. Anyways, with all that being said, let me just look up something real quick. What does butterfly mean in Japanese?
He believes I really am strong.
Like I pointed to earlier, the food pills are like a staircase of power that go directly against Jirobo. So now that Jirobo's in the first stage curse mark, Choji takes the yellow pill. Another thing to mention is that with each pill, he has a new jutsu, which we'll get into that in a second.
More than me or Neji, or any of us here, Choji's got strength.
As Shikamaru says this, by the way, I want to remind everyone, Shikamaru actively searched for Choji first after he was forced to grab Naruto. He didn't look for Neji, or someone like Shino. He looked to the person he trusted the most.
Pretty impressive chakra. Not bad, but a far cry from being a main dish.
What even is this chakra doing? Is it like a Kurama Land of Waves situation where he can't really control the sheer amount of chakra he got from that, or is it just like, is he just flexing? Choji's just showing Jirobo he's better, I guess. I don't know.
Partial expansion jutsu!
And here's the new jutsu Choji has. Now that he's taken the yellow food pill, he has partial expansion. Very cool. Something I actually really like about the way they show this is how it kind of messes with perspective. The camera's already really close to Choji, to the point where even if his hand wasn't expanded, it would still take up a sizable amount of the screen. So this camera angle doesn't necessarily tell us how big Choji's hand is. It just shows us it's big, which gives the viewer something to think about going into next episode. Listen, I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you, saying this episode was necessarily lightning in a bottle, but to say it was a solid bounce back from the past few episodes, it would be an understatement. It's got enough excitement, it's got really good emotional moments, and it hits every note really well. The start of it is a little slow for my liking, but the rest of it picks up and holds itself fine. The fighting is kind of weak and more just big hit after big hit, but I think that's kind of just a me thing. I don't think I should be going into this expecting a nimble battle with these two. Choji finally being fleshed out is really nice, and I can finally start praising his character for the growth that it has. I can also finally start hating on Jirobo, cause fuck that guy. Everyone else in the episode though is in the background, which is fine. That's sort of on purpose. If they were also getting major roles, then Choji being fleshed out would have been kind of underwhelming. And overall, I think it's a solid episode that sets up an amazing episode following it. If you want to support me more than just watching this video, you can become a member on Patreon. And yeah, next episode. Goodbye, old friend. I'll always believe in you. Oh my god, I'm not ready for this episode. Holy shit.